you have to beg people for it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, anyone who gives to these poor people, to these people who cannot take care of themselves, out of their love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's going to reward them so much. And it says He's going to reward them, but they won't feel the bitter cold or the scorching heat. Just because, because Allah loves them. And there's one thing really important, inshallah, I'm going to end with, soon with this, but what's really important is that there's something about these things. It's not just doing good deeds, it's doing good deeds with the right intention. Because these good people who give to poor people, they don't give to show off to people. They give just for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say, إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا إِنَّا نَخَافُ مِنْ رَبِّنَا يَوْمًا عَبُوسًا قَمْطَرِيرًا. Which basically means, we don't even do this for a thank you. We don't even do this, we don't want your thanks. We're not looking for thanks. All we're looking is just to please Allah. And you know why? Because we're scared of the Day of Judgment. And this is like a perfect response. A lot of people, a lot of kuffar, a lot of the ones that think that they can do everything without religion, they say that, I do things to put a smile on people's face. Well, yeah, but look, I can put a smile on bank robber's face if I'm the getaway driver in the heist, It's like, hey, you did a good thing for me, you can't really see him smile because he has ski mask on. But the fact is that you're pleasing people at the end of the day. And even though that sounds nice, it's actually not acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because we have to check for our intentions. Our intention is not to please anyone. It's just to make sure we do everything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because people may ask you to do things that are that are not right. It pleases them, but it's still not right. So just a very important distinction. Inshallah, I'm going to close with one last time, and then I'm going to let my brother take over. Inshallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants every single one of us to go to Jannah. He really does. Because He says in the Quran, وَاللَّهُ يَدْعُو إِلَى دَارِ السَّلَامِ وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ إِلَى الصِّرَاطِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites you to the house of peace. And He guides whoever He wants to the straight path. And the house of peace is Jannah. And He wants us all to go there. And man, just on a side note, when Muslims, they put attending for any event on Facebook, it's like a maybe. There's something you don't want to do a maybe for. It's something like, yes, I'm going to attend, I'm going to attend this party Allah wants us to have. I'm not going to be the ones who just don't even respond to it because they don't know how to react. It's like, okay, I'm not going to even touch this thing, okay? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's inviting us. No matter do any of us want to come, do any of us want to prove ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because Jannah is a place where, only good people can be there. It's not like you interviewed for a job and they somehow fluke, you're really like a serial killer, but you pretend to be a nice person for a day. Because Allah knows everything about you. Allah, no one's going to get into Jannah with a fluke. Everyone's only going to do it if they have the right qualities. So inshallah, I hope all of us just take inspiration from, whatever was said. And, we look at our role models. How, the women, inshallah, they can have Hazrat Asiya. May Allah be pleased with her as a role model, one of the best women who ever walked the world. So all of us can look at the Sahaba as the guiding stars to teach us how to go to Jannah, inshallah. Jazakallah.
Qualities of the people who are successful in going to Jannah. And so I'm going to talk about the same thing, but focusing on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he is our role model. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Who are the best people?" Who are the best people? The companion said, "Ya Rasulullah, please tell us who are the best people." He said, "Those who follow me but have not seen me." It's so easy for you to follow in my path because you know my majesty, you know my beauty, you've seen my miracles, you've seen the revelation of the Quran. How easy is it for you? But the true test is for those who come after me who have not seen me, and they will be rewarded for this. Now, a common reaction might be, wait, we're the best people of Islam? Everyone's going to hell! Oh my God! Okay, calm down guys, calm down. Okay? Because we are not the greatest ummah, because we're better people than the Sahaba, but we are the best ummah because we have the hardest test. The trials are much greater, the stakes are much higher, our power is weaker. But our Jannah is closer than anyone else who has walked on this planet before. Rasulullah said that my ummah is the one that will go to Jannah before anyone else's ummah. Before Adam, before Nuh, before Ibrahim, before Musa, anyone. Our ummah is the first ummah to go to Jannah. Why? Because we have the hardest test. And because the Prophet is not with us, this gives us more reason to further our love and our understanding for him. So, oftentimes, when we love somebody, our hearts are like truly attached to this person, And it's not just enough to know about the job or, what they did for a living, where they live, whatever, but we want to know them so well that they're right in front of us, So, when you're chatting with someone online or texting them, and they say one of their own signature catchphrases or whatever, you're like, oh, I know exactly what this person is talking about. I can hear them say it. I know what tone they're saying it in, So, and when people, they carry pictures of, other people with them, they have it in the background of their, phone or their laptop, it's because they mean so much to them. Think of children whose fathers or mothers, they passed away before they even saw them. And they're asking their relatives questions like, oh, what did he act like? What hobbies did he have? How did he laugh? We want to know them in such an intimate way. And this is the fervor and endearment we should show towards Rasulullah. So, what do we know about the Prophet in a personal way? Most people can spit out Sirah, Isra Miraj, Hijrah, Battle of Badr, stuff like that, But can you tell me about him as a person? Do you know his catchphrases, his lifestyle, foods, colors, activities, clothes, the job he had, the sports he liked? Do you even know what he looks like? And that's a big one too. So I'm going to start describing him physically and then mentally, okay? We go from outside to inside. Superficial, okay? So, giving a small synopsis, the Prophet was born into the tribe of Banu Hashim of Quraysh. He was a merchant by trade. He had 11 wives over the course of his life and 7 children. Muhammad's favorite color was? Anyone? Green, right? He loved to wrestle, swim, race, ride on horseback, and do archery. He used to wear simple clothes. He had 1 or 2 pieces like they wear in Hajj, with an imam on top, like a turban style, right? And he used to often apply suma or cloth, to his eyes. And he also used to always wear a ring. So there are many different, physical descriptions of the Prophet, but I'm just going to hit up on a few excerpts that I feel like just nail everything in one. So the Blessed One had a beautiful hair. His forehead and chest and the distance between his shoulders were very broad. His neck was slender. His shoulders, biceps, calves were large and thick. And on his countenance was like a very well-proportioned head. He had curved eyebrows and an oval shape. His eyelashes were long. His eyes were black. His eyes were black. Medically, it's not even possible to have black eyes. I'm not even kidding you. Generally, our pigment does not stain that well, but it's true. He had black eyes and they were beautiful. And light was always shining from his face. His senses were very powerful. He could see further than anyone. And whether or not he had used perfume, his skin always had a lovely scent. If you shook hands with Rasulullah, your hand would smell like him the whole day. If Rasulullah put his hand on a kid's head just to tap him or give him a hug, wherever that kid was running on with his other friends or whatever, if you found him later, you could tell which one Rasulullah had hugged, just by the smell. And anyone who saw him would feel like great love for him in his heart and his soul. Rasulullah's hair was wavy. His complexion was fair. And there was a vein between his eyebrows that would start pulsing when he got angry. His cheeks were not very prominent. Most of his laughing was as smiling. And whenever he did laugh, he showed his teeth, which were so white they were described like hailstones. Now I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And he has an amazing story, okay? For another halaqa I'm sure sometime, but one of my absolute favorites, okay? But there's one quality that is emphasized among many for Yusuf alayhi salam, and that is his stunning physical beauty. His whole life, people admired him just based on his good looks, you know? The majesty of his features, and they desperately desired to be with him. And stuff like even the governor's wife trapped herself in a room with him because she was so obsessed with his body. Okay? And when Yusuf alayhi salam used to go through the public atmosphere, out in the marketplace or wherever, women were so entranced by him that when they were cutting vegetables or something, they'd start cutting their own fingers and not even feel pain because they were so mesmerized by him. Hazrat Aisha said, had they ever seen Muhammad, they would have cut their hearts out. SubhanAllah. And as far as mannerisms go, his gait was very firm. And he walked so quickly that it was difficult for people to keep pace with him. He never spoke unnecessarily, and he always spoke to the point, without using very big words or convoluted sentences. And every time he wanted to make his meaning clear, he would slowly repeat what he had said. Slowly repeat. Okay? So, and you know, he always kept his feelings under firm control, you know. And when he was annoyed, you could tell because he would turn aside, or he would keep very silent, you know. And when he was happy or pleased with you, he would lower his eyes. That's kind of cute. You know, he was always the first to greet another person. And when he shook hands with you, he wouldn't even let go till you let go. And whenever he was in a circle with people, if he saw someone walk by or wanted to be included, he would instantly start making room so another person could join them. He would never exclude anyone. And he was especially fond of children. And he'd always get in the spirit and play with them and play their games and stuff. You know, he used to give kids rides on his camel. And he would always pick them up, play with them, and kiss them. He'd always kiss them. Always kiss your kids. They'll be way less weird when they grow up. I'm not even kidding. You know when you're in middle school and there are those that bully other people, everyone makes fun like, oh, his mom probably didn't hug him, you know? Like, it's probably because it's actually his mom did not hug him, you know? I'm not even kidding. Because, you know, when you're loving the people, it really softens them. And you can tell someone who's without love, they're very bitter, you know? Very bitter, very hateful people. And so Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was also a handyman. He did his own household chores. He prepared food, he sewed clothes, and he repaired shoes. Grade A marriage material. Number one marriage material. You know? So we're just going to take a small segue, and I just want to talk about the Prophet's favorite foods, okay? That's what these 13 things up here, Prophet's favorite foods. I want you guys to shout out anything, just guess it, inshallah. Number one, what's number one? Dates, right? Should be dates, right? Okay, the Prophet said, a house without gates is like a house without food. Okay, imagine that. And so, okay, shout out some more. What are Prophet's favorite food? Honey. Honey is a good food. Honey is the food of foods, the drink of drinks, and the drug of drugs. Okay? It is used for creating appetite, increasing antibodies, strengthening the stomach, eliminating phlegm. It works as meat preservative, hair conditioner, eye soother, mouthwash, and toilet paper. Okay, not toilet paper. You guys are getting carried away. Okay? But another amazing thing about honey is that it never spoils. It will never go bad. When they rediscovered the pyramids in Egypt, a lot of the pharaohs would often trap a lot of things with them, okay? Their possessions, their wealth, to the dead pets, where you can go dead, but also huge vats of honey